Welcome to the State of Affairs. I am your host, King Crusoe, but you can call me KC, and we're back for another monthly update video regarding all of my doings on the channel and other similar stuff, and some going into a little bit what I expect to come from this month. I gotta tell you, it feels like it's been at least 3 months since I recorded the last one of these State of Affairs video. January just felt like it lasted absolutely forever. Part of this was because of how much work I put into and how much time I spent working on videos for January, but also because of just general real life stuff. I'm pretty sure if you're anywhere on the internet like me, you may have seen one or two memes at one point over the last 1 or 2 weeks demanding to know how many more months there were left in January. I had to laugh at those because it's definitely felt that way for me. But nevertheless, here we are again to wrap up things for myself and the channel. Welcome back to the State of Affairs. Last month's videos and highlights will start us off again this week, just as normally will be the case. 16 videos were released on my main channel, 9 videos on the second channel, totaling about 25 videos over the two channels over the course of January. I was expecting that to be a little bit closer to 28 videos between having a couple extra Let's Play related stuff on the second channel and also being able to have my Game of the Year video on the second channel this month, even though that's, what is that, coming in 2 days from now? It might be 2 days ago, depending on when I can get this video done in time for Monday or Friday. It depends. The point is, there were supposed to be a couple more videos in January, but even so, 25 videos is no small amount. Some of the highlights, my favorite videos that I got released over the course of January were my 2024 year in review video, the one that I released on January 1st, came out a few hours later than I was intending for it to because the production of it took quite a while, actually, but it influenced the way that State of Affairs looks right now, at least how it'll look on the channel for probably the duration of 2025. I enjoyed making that video. It was great, but I think in the future I'm going to not be so dogged about making sure it comes out on the 1st because that was an all-day affair and it exhausted me. My Christmas book haul video also came out pretty early in the month. This one I'm shouting out as a highlight because it got quite a few views, more than my book hauls typically do, and also because that haul featured a lot more stuff physical than the last several hauls have tended to, so that one was pretty fun. I did my book of the year list, my top 10 favorite books, and my least favorite book of 2024 in January, of course, and that has done some pretty solid numbers for me. I've enjoyed the reception on that, and I really enjoyed making that list as well, so I recommend you go check that out. I also did another Author Talks video with Dave Butler talking about Witchy Eye, the first book in the Witchy War saga, and a lot of other stuff besides. There was a little bit of talk about languages and learning languages and just generally how writing and editing affect each other and Dave's journey along those lines. That video is now the longest video that I've posted on either of my two channels, maybe not counting some of the random Let's Play stuff on the second channel. I forget off the top of my head. It's definitely the longest video on this channel, beating out my first time discussion with Christopher Rocchio, which was like 2 hours and 4 minutes. This one was like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. It was a great time. Dave is fantastic. I recommend you check that out. On the second channel, some of my highlights are more general in this regard. I did my Film of the Year and Album of the Year list. Album of the Year is the one that I want to shout out for now because I really enjoyed putting together that video. I feel like it's a lot better than my Album of the Year, the actual video was for 2023, which I released, about a year ago. So I recommend you check that out. But the other thing that happened on the second channel was I started doing Music Mania. I technically posted episode 0 at the very end of December of 2024, basically as an introductory sort of thing to what that series was going to be. But I have posted, at the time of this video, definitely probably 5 episodes so far, 5 official episodes, but 4 of those were in January, and kind of putting together that series, figuring out what it looks like and the way that it feels to record that has been fun and engaging, and I've had a great time with that. But now we move into the channel statistics, and no surprise, most of these numbers are going to be a little bit down compared to last month, but that isn't too big of a concern at the end of the day because December went absolutely bonkers and was record-breaking for nearly every statistical possibility there were on either of my channels. It was a record-breaking month in nearly every regard. January still surprised me in quite a few ways. I got 2,278 views this month on the main channel, down about 29%. Again, no surprise that there was a big drop down there, but the fact that I broke 2,000 views again still kind of breaks my brain. I was expecting for that to be down closer to the normal, like maybe 1,700 or something like that. So this is totally acceptable to me. As for watch hours, I got 192.2 watch hours in January, down about 18%. So not as stark of a drop as last time, but I suspect that the discussion that I had with Dave and a couple of my end of year wrap up type of things, inciting or maybe inviting a little bit of longer average view duration, are to blame, to thank, I suppose, for the fact that the watch hours didn't go down quite as much. Nearly broke 200 again in the watch hours, which would have been absolutely nuts if I did. I still came very close. Very happy with that result. Thank you to everybody who has watched. 101,827 impressions, which was up 1.5% from December, so basically equal to the previous month, and a net gain of 26 subscribers, putting my total at the end of January at 801, which I was not expecting to already break 800 subscribers this year. Really thankful for that. Again, December was a really huge outlier as far as a lot of the statistics were concerned for my channel. Had a gain of like 56 subscribers or something like that in December alone, which was absolutely absurd. The fact that I got another 26 in January kind of breaks my brain, to use that term again. It's really dumbfounding. Broken 800 subscribers now, and I'm really thankful for that. Even in the midst of losing a solid handful over like a week in the middle of the month, still managed to break 800 subscribers. That was really awesome. Thank you to the people who are taking a chance on the channel, and I hope you enjoy your stay the further you go along. On the second channel, definitely a lot smaller of a month, we'll say, than the previous, but again, December was an outlier for the second channel as well. 293 views in January, which was down about 70.5% from December. No surprise, because I didn't release a Linkin Park discography ranking in January. In fact, I didn't really release much of anything, but I will say 293 views is still quite a bit, and a lot more than I was expecting. A lot of those views coming specifically from Music Mania. Thank you to the people who have been checking out that series and have been enjoying it thus far. It hasn't done very much yet, but I expect for that series to grow quite a bit in the way that the book binge has so far on the main channel. Really grateful for that. 14.9 watch hours on the second channel, down about 74%. So pretty similar drop as the views. So those correlating is rather encouraging in that way. It means that the people who are still clicking and watching are watching about the same amount of time as they were before. So I'm grateful for that. 34,717 impressions, being down 0.3%. Literally, I think only 120 fewer impressions than I had in December. I don't remember if that was a record breaking. It might have been. I'm pretty sure it was. I don't remember off the top of my head, but either way, January had basically the exact same number of impressions. So a little bit smaller click-through rate this month, but equal amount of impressions. So I'm still happy with that. And of course, I can't really help the impressions at all. That's all on YouTube's side. Plus 5 subscribers on the second channel, however, which is pretty high up there. Might be a record for any one single month so far on the second channel. I might be wrong on that, but it might just be that puts my total at 34 on the second channel so far. So we'll see if I can, continue that growth over there. I'm grateful for the people who've been watching over on that channel, even though I'm not sure quite so many of them are watching this channel. But that leads us into last month's writings, some of the other stuff that I've been working on that wasn't specifically video related for the month. Let's talk about the fiction and stories that I've been writing over the last month. And again, to continue the trend, there hasn't been much writing on the way of the Reign of Ash sequence for quite a while. I'm trying to work myself back into doing that, but part of that has been me kind of shifting focus and moving into a different fiction project, which I'm calling The Tributaries. I haven't explained really what that is yet up to this point, but it's something a little bit different flavor, different speed, more like volumes of short stories, we'll say. I have a couple stories that I want to write on that, but I have gotten about 500 words for The Tributaries up to this point, basically just planning things, putting things together, getting kind of outlines in place, ready to utilize. But like I said, I have a couple stories that I want to write in there, and I hope that that will be able to push my brain into more of a fiction zone like it hasn't been in for, at this point, probably like 4 months or something like that. It hasn't properly been in. So we'll see if that really helps to the degree that I hope it does. For reviews and blogs, however, I did get quite a bit written, over 21,000 words. In book reviews, I got 8,650 words written between a review for The Pillars of the Earth and The Aeneid, which together, just by themselves, combined to nearly 5,000 words. I did a review for Congo by Michael Crichton. Then I did a few reviews for some short collections of Rick Riordan's within his universe, Demigod Files and the Demigod Diaries, plus an extra short story besides those that aren't collected in any one of his other collections, Percy Jackson and the Singer of Apollo. I also wrote little brief reviews for volumes 5 through 8 of Monster, as I finished volume 5 and read all of volumes 6 through 8 over the course of January. So all of those reviews totaled up to over 8,600 words. Music review related stuff, I got 7,400 words. I wrote the last 1,950 words that made it into the 2024 Album of the Year review, the stuff that I hadn't quite written yet at the very end of December, but I obviously had to finish up that script so that I could make the video that came out. You'll see a similar thing in the next couple sections here in just a little bit. I also wrote about 25 album and EP reviews on Music Board, which is where I do my Music Mania stuff on Mondays on the second channel. So if you want to check out my profile there, that is in the description below. 5,450 words were written for those 25 albums and EPs over the course of January. I wrote 3,200 reviews for game-related stuff, all of those words being put for the 2024 Game of the Year video, which, while the video itself is not coming out in January, obviously we're in February still, at the time of this video's release, it's probably most likely that that video came out 2 days ago on Wednesday, because I'm anticipating this to come out on Friday. If I can get this to come out on Monday, like I want, then it'll be in 2 days that the Game of the Year video comes out, but I had to finish writing that one, and I really, really enjoyed that video. And then what came out a couple weeks back at this point, my 2024 Film of the Year review, I wrote the last 2,000 words that I needed to for that video very early on in January as well. So like I said, over 21,000 words for reviews and blog related stuff, mostly related to the second channel, one degree or another, and I've been really enjoying doing all of that. This month, however, we're looking at taking a little bit of a step back, a little bit of a break. It turned out the last one of these State of Affairs, I said that the end of the year videos and all that kind of stuff would take at least a couple weeks, like the bulk of a couple weeks, or maybe the majority of the month. And boy, howdy did it, because it didn't just take a couple weeks, it took nearly the entirety of January to actually finish all of January's videos like I had planned, because of work and overtime over a couple of the early weekends of the year. That really messed up. It messed up a lot of my video editing plans and stuff like that. So basically everything got really scuffed in the video schedule as far as January was concerned. And January lasted forever as well, so it felt like it was just terrible. It was certainly a time of my life. But aside from having 2 weekly videos, which I'm going to be producing during February, those being the weekly Wheel of Time diary videos as I'm reading A Crown of Swords, the 7th book in the series, and the Music Mania stuff that I do every Monday on the second channel. Aside from those 2 videos every week, I'm going to be taking a huge step back and spending most of February, or at least these first couple weeks of the month, just relaxing. Like once this video is done, and aside, like I said, from those 2 weekly videos, I'm not really going to do much work on video stuff specifically. I might still do writing stuff, especially at work. I think I'll still do some of that. But after how long and how tedious January was to get through, I desperately need a break. So I'm taking the opportunity to take a break now before my work schedule and some other obligations come, you know, basically April and May most especially, but even in March as well. Kind of get the better of me. I'm not going to have a proper opportunity for a break, I don't think, until probably late May, June, maybe. So I'm taking a break now while I have the opportunity so that I don't burn out and die, which means that over the next few weeks, I'm going to be spending a lot of time relaxing. Been playing the new Indiana Jones game that came out. back in early December. Was that when that released? Feels like it's a million years ago at this point with how long January was. I'm going to watch some of the Indiana Jones movies as well. I picked those up on DVD recently, so I'm like, I want to watch those. I might, consider making a video about all of that stuff. It would be pretty fun. But aside from, doing that, enjoying some more good music and books over the course of the month, and hoping it doesn't snow very much because that could ruin my life as well. I'm being dramatic, but you know what I mean. I'm looking to relax in February and maybe write some more. Instead of working on video stuff the entire month, I do want to write some more. Like I said, I talked about the tributaries a little bit. I have a couple stories of that I want to write, which will maybe hopefully help me circle back around to the Reign of Ash. So who knows, maybe I'll get one or both of those stories written in February. I'm not going to count on it, but maybe that will be a thing that happens. I'll certainly try to get the outlines done and get started writing on one of them this month while I have the opportunity to do that. But with that being said, that will be the end of this state of affairs. Thank you guys for watching this. If you did, what are your guys' plans for this month and how did your January go? Did it feel as long for you as it did for me? Because oh boy, January was, it was a rough month, man. I'll tell you what. I'm hoping February goes better, and I hope February goes great for all of you guys as well. Thank you guys once again for watching. For now, I've been your host, King Crusoe, but you can call me KC, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.